There we go. Okay, now after technical difficulty, it is Sister Kate right here on Shofar Mountain. If you have been following my husband's Patreon, we have stuff happening here on the mountain. And I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's engines running. And with my opening picture, I showed you Jack. Oh, what's going on there? Hey now. Okay. I just want to give you a little scoop right there. We got a brother and pastor, and they're doing some clearing. There's a flag and logs being moved and so forth. And in the background, you may hear a very large diesel engine. Hey, shalom, Teresa. Shalom, Shield Maiden. Hey, Mark. Shalom, shalom. There is a very large diesel engine. There is a, don't hit the, right, overall living, that's the most important thing. That Jeep cannot be touched. We have a dinosaur on the land. Once again, a very, very large one. That's my cutesy way of saying some sort of large construction equipment, as well as Jack. Jack, I guess I might be able to show you that right now. I'm going to go over there and show you. Jack had a little trip to the doctor. Jack needed some maintenance that Pastor opted to let the dealership do. And we had saved up more money, and Jack had an addition. Hey, Pastor.
Hey.
Don't pay attention to me. I just want to show him what happened with Jack. We have the excavator arm on Jack. And so there is some very large equipment coming. It's being run by Bear Independent. It's a Shofar Mountain Grindstone Ministries production joint venture. There's Ozark Geek. Shalom, brother. Hey. I'm doing a live stream. Don't pay attention to me. So we are clearing cabin sites for VIPs. Look out. My dog can't move. I've got him chained up and he thinks like he literally cannot move. So it has been a plan of Pastor and ours to expand on the cabins that we have personally, because we have enough room to do it, and who knows, family may want to come visit. Hey, Aidnir, are you in England, or did I just not pick up on that correctly? So the big equipment is moving this morning, and what Pastor and Brother Tony are doing is they are doing like pre-prep work. I did post in the community section of my channel, at least I thought I did. I intended to. Hang on a minute. We've got a technical difficulty. Azat, come here. You're not doing that. Come here. Come here, baby. Yeah. Lay down. Good boy. Okay. Sorry. I don't even remember what I was saying. Something about clearing this land and then putting up a few more cabins. And it's a joint production. Bear Independent has been here now helping out. Hey, Vicky, shalom. How are you? How are things at your place? Wait, let me see if I can see. And Louis, hello. Your dog's name is Technical Difficulty. Yes. And my guinea's name is Loud Interrupter. Good, sister. Good to hear that. Hey, Joe Manolia. That is going to be nice. Well, Stephen Wilson, that is the dream, right? We picked out sites very specific in location to different things on the mountain. It's very hard to find flat space here, so Pastor and I had to walk the land and pick it out and look to where the water runs, because here in the spring it floods like big time. Are you coming to give me a smooch?
I am.
Hello.
You have Your hat is falling
My
apart.
hat is falling apart. This is my working hat. It's shredded. I've had goats try to eat it, and I'm sure I've run over it maybe 1 or 2 times. All right, so let me see what you're commenting. Did I hear you right? Bear Independent is helping you. Yes, he is helping us. He did a live stream, I guess, on his Tactical Tuesday about that because he has some skills too. I mean, I did marry a Green Beret, but heavy equipment operation is not his forte. However, Bear has some experience, and if you watch his channel, you know that he's gone places and moved things and done earth kind of things, and so he's lending a hand here. I never knew y'all were neighbors. We are not uh, like right around the corner kind of people. It's a drive. It's a drive. Um, so happy to see you getting the things done. Thank you, Mark. I was super excited when Pastor told me this particular one was going to happen because uh, he had several projects. We had several projects here in the land that we intended to to accomplish this summer, including the new tabernacle or whatever you want to call it, church building, because the one that we have is just not in very good shape. It's got a lot of issues with it. And please let me know if you can hear me over the chainsaw work. And so I just was like, I need something different. And I think it's going to be a spiritual reawakening for Shofar as well, because there's a lot of history in the other one. Right there. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, it's just really, really, really rough. If you can ask people who've been here, that building is truly rough. And so with the people in the congregation now, there's enough willingness and skills and so on to make us a better place to gather, make it a little bit less rustic. Shalom. Oh, there's Sister Melissa. Yay! Your hubby is right there. He is the safety guy on scene. He's the, what do you call it? Dog watcher, but it's not a dog, it's a pastor watcher for like his heat issues and things. He's making sure he drinks enough water. William H. Shalom, good morning. Friend, Sister Kate, William H., good to see you. Homestead House. Shalom, sister. It's 1:30 a.m. here in Australia. Looks great what you've been doing. Oh my gosh. Well, if you have to go to bed, please go to bed. I don't want to keep you up, but welcome, Australian. Good day. And you have a homestead there, so you know what homesteading is like. If you have any, like, what is your number one concern right now on your homestead? Because my number one concern, this is also, but it's out of my purview. Like, I have no power over what is happening back in here with the chainsawing and the earth moving and the tractor driving and all that. Mrs. Pleasance is in UK. That's right. I forgot that. I've been to the UK. I've spent a college semester down in London. I love the UK. I love fish and chips too. If you guys could just run down to the nearest chip shop and get a couple of helpings and then 3D scan them to me, that would just be fantastic because I love fish and chips. Anyway, Homestead, Australia. My number one concern here is we haven't had rain in almost 2 weeks. And so what kind of timeline is this great project? As soon as possible. That is the timeline. As soon as possible. I can hear the clacking and clattering of the big machine up there. I think he's doing some finishing work there before he gets down here. I will at least post a photo in the community section of my channel if I can. He may come down here. I don't know how long it's going to be, and I'll probably just stay on for maybe an hour again, because again I've got to go back down and like cook lunch and do things. But what was I saying? Okay, so the number one concern on my homestead right now is the water. I mean, we have sources of water, but what we've been doing over this very wet spring is just rain catchment. Like down at the duck house, there's a couple of big trash cans down there, and the rain comes off that roof, looks kind of like that. It's vinyl corrugated. The rain comes off the roof and it catches in those trash cans. But those trash cans are almost empty. Sister Melissa, thank you. Yes, I know it's supposed to come, and to me, it's not soon enough. And I hope it rains enough to fill those trash cans up, because my little pools and things from my ducks are also evaporating out, and I really want, I can take fresh water down there, and I probably will, but it's just better if I have it on site. And I need to get a little bit bigger water storage down there. All right, so let me see what you guys. Number one concern is food production. So, what kind of crops grow very well there? I mean, do you guys, like, we counted on and still have our greens growing and our wild edibles, but things like tomatoes are iffy here because of the bugs and such. So what is your main food crop? Squash or whatever. Hey, Sister Kate, shalom, shalom. So we've got Canada, Australia, England, and America so far represented in this tiny little live stream. You can do fish and chips. Okay, if you can't 3D scan it to me, just see if one of those really expensive, like refrigerated, uh, uh, like cooler containers. I mean, how much is that going to cost to fly to New York and then fly down into the Ozarks? Got to be cheap, right? Should be affordable. Um, Chicken duck coop. I'm assuming that's what you're working on. Okay. Hey, Angie Kelly, shalom. Anything is possible. There is a solar pump. There is a solar and pump system for your simple pump. The simple pump is solar. Yeah, right. Like it's already, you know that. It's already hooked up. So for me to go get that water to take to the orchard, I have to pump it into some sort of container, right? Not that big a deal. It'll just, turn it on. It'll do it. But then I have to think in terms much smaller than like someone stronger than me. So I can only carry myself like 2.5 gallons. So I could drive up there in the four-wheeler, take some containers, fill them up. If I took a 5-gallon bucket, once it was full on the four-wheeler, I could not lift it. Now I could secure it and then drive down to the orchard, and to get it from the 5-gallon bucket to my little pools, I would have to like use something smaller, like scoop it into a smaller bucket or something. I could siphon it, but that might be more trouble than it's worth. So that's kind of, where I'm at there. And it's me, I have to sort it out myself because my husband obviously is busy. They are very, very busy. Good job, Sister Melissa. Mark from Michigan, we are selling the family cabin up north, buying a more viable property up north. Stay safe and strong. Love, Mark. All right, good. My way. Mark, good luck with that. I hope that works out. Found a new rice that grows here in dry soil. Best crop here is tomatoes. Awesome. I'm telling you. I have tomatoes planted. I will eat them if they make it. I've planted tomatoes before and they look sort of healthy, and they start putting on fruit and the bugs just decimate it. So I barely get any. The tomatoes I've canned here, I've gotten from a neighbor. He's just better at it and he plants more of them. And then he says, if you want any, you can have some. Tomatoes to me, like we eat ketchup almost every day. So we ought to have a lot of tomatoes put away so we can make our own. And we have made our own. It's delicious. But I don't know what it is. I mean, I could pour Seven Dust over everything, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to have a pesticide on this fruit that I'm going to be eating in like 3 days. So I just, plant what I plant and hope it'll work. I've already got aphids on my tomatoes, and the bugs that attack them later are like squash bugs, stink bugs, those little flat gray or green bugs, and this black long bug that comes out at night, and they just swarm. They chew the whole plant down, and we get those big hornworms. So I try to get out there and like hand pick everything off, but I have not been successful in keeping them back. Scotland online. So now we have Canada, Scotland, Australia, England, and America. We got 5 countries represented here in this tiny little 14-minute live stream. I planted our first garden this year, and so far so good. Awesome, and I think that's a wise decision. Chasing life. I've been hauling water, reusing gallon water jugs from the house to the garden due to the empty rain barrels. Not fun. We could use some rain as well. I know, it's labor intensive. Hauling water is labor intensive. Now, the ducks need it, so it has to happen. Oh man, I had a thought the other day, and I'm so busy. I only have 3 ducks right now. 3 were killed, and then we got 4 more from Sister Melissa, who incubated eggs for us, and those 4 were in there, so I had 7, and then 2 of those were killed last night by a raccoon, Sister Melissa. I am certain it's a raccoon because I baited a live trap with tiny little marshmallows, which is what Pastor told me to do, and they were gone this morning. And the board that I placed in front of their area was moved again. So it wasn't my dog, hallelujah. It was definitely something like a raccoon. So we will, he's got other kind of traps. They're sort of live traps. I'd really rather use the live traps, but I've got to make sure mine will spring when it's supposed to, because it was correctly set up, and it didn't set it off, even though it ate the marshmallows. Excuse me. Anyway, so I'm down to 3. I sent the 2 remaining young ducks back to Sister Melissa's because my older ducks were picking on those little ducklings. They're not tiny. I mean, they're almost the same size, but they were picking on them, and I didn't want them. I can lock them up in my duck house with the older ones, but then the older ones can pick on them all night long, and I don't want that to happen, so I've got to work on my other duck house just to make it secure so the raccoon cannot reach in there, because it's reaching in under the door. And it's a small area, so the ducks can move away from it, but if they come anywhere near that door, the raccoon can grab it. And the raccoon probably moves around too and tries to get them through the mesh. So I can add more mesh to it, and I can fix that doorway. And until then, I've only got 3, and my idea for water was I do have a creek. And even when it's kind of dry, there are pools, and I was thinking I'll just take them down there and let them play in a pool. But I'm so busy up here, I just haven't had a chance to follow through on my idea. But yeah, hauling water is labor intensive, and so every time I do it, I think, man, I should do a better job. I should get gutters up and do this and that, and of course, you know, life. Okay, so neem oil is great for bug destruction. Neem oil is great, but when I've used it on my plants, it's also burnt the leaves of the plants. So I might be able to use the neem oil in a different way. You know, maybe set bowls out and spray. And the other thing is I've sprayed with pesticide only the plants that I'm not going to eat for a while. So it's a very limited thing. The rest of them I leave alone, and I try to do it myself. Phone went flat. Sorry. Can grow anything except tropical fruit and veggies. You are a temperate zone. We have videos up on our farm. Been watching you for last year and biking on Patreon. Homestead, Australia. All right, so I need to go to your site. I need to check out some of your videos and do some commenting. I'm always excited to hear from Australian homesteaders. Making an insecticide spray with Dr. Bonner peppermint soap and cayenne pepper. I could do that, but I don't have any Dr. Bonner peppermint soap. I put my brassicas under butterfly net because of the cabbage butterflies. Oh my gosh, that's a really good idea. I have a few bug nets. They're not butterfly nets. And someone was going to send me some garden mesh. But yeah, I'm starting to think that certain plants, we should just cover it with some kind of netting. Something like a pantyhose or a butterfly net, really fine, so they can't get through it, to just protect the plant. Because it's crazy how much damage they can do in such a short time. I have a raccoon taking my chickens. Yeah, there are conibear traps will get the raccoon, but it's not going to survive it. There's also a little leg trap that you can put the marshmallow in the bottom, and it's going to, what's it called?
It's called a duke.
It's called a duke, but it's going to capture the egg, and then they can't pull it out. And
so you shoot them.
So you shoot them, and see, I prefer not having to shoot an animal while it's, you know, trying to stay alive. So usually what we do if I catch one in the live trap is I just take it, you know, miles away to the national forest or something like that, somewhere similar with some water and release it. Because it's like, all right, I don't want you near my animals, but maybe you can make it out here. Um, Silky Mom fought for her life and her babies one morning, but she lost one chick. Wow, she must have been pretty darn aggressive because that raccoon was probably bigger than her. Butterfly net goes on this weekend for the brassica. Yes, it works. Neem oil for everything else. All right. Hey, Patriot Plumber. Time is in such short supply, right? And I work 12-hour days here. I told Pastor that. I get up and I don't stop. I get up at 8 and I go to bed at 8. And the whole time I'm doing something. I always listen to Sister K and PJ on speaker, and when they say hello or shalom, my daughter stops and says it back. Aw, that's so cute. And one of y'all, it might have been Linda Hipple, said she would like a shalom refrigerator magnet. So I think that's a great idea. I think it won't take as long as the alphabets will, and so that's stirring around here. So you guys can remind me about that too, because I think that would be I would like to have one on my refrigerator. Dilute it with water and some dish soap. Okay, Norm, I can do that thing. Any flowing water on property with an elevation drop, ram pump works great and costs nothing to run. We've looked at ram pump and the distance is just not, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. Neem oil can only be applied at night. Once it's day, it will not burn the plant. Sun and wet neem equal burn. Right, I did it wrong, Furious Mongoose. I put it on in sunlight and it just burnt the leaves. Even old curtain lights you can put over brassicas. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I have any down here, but I might have some at High Prairie Acres. Does muslin work too? Does it allow enough sunlight in, I wonder? Coon cups, D-Neck says. Yeah, that's what they call it. That's what the hand raccoon traps are called. That's right. 30 foot by 12 foot on eBay, 7 pounds delivered fine mesh bug netting. eBay. Sister Melissa, did you see that? Could you order that for me? And I will repay you. 7 pounds is what nowadays? $10, $14, something like that. 30 foot by 12 is a lot. That would work. Susan Bryant, he loves to listen to her. We hung her magnets from Etsy on the fridge. We've used them in lessons. He hung her note too. He got very excited to get a note from the famous Sister Kate. Oh, that's so funny. Infamous is more like it. That is so sweet, Chasing Life, though. It is very sweet. I've missed you, the lamp keeper. Well, I'm glad you got to zip in. Do you have any idea when the bulldozer might be coming down here?
I thought it would be here already.
So it could be any minute. I did, at the beginning, show Jack is over there. Oh, now my hat's in the way. Jack's right back there waiting. He's using him to pull logs and stuff. We have two brothers down in the woods. Pastor just got his alternate chainsaw, I don't know, oiled up, sharpened up, somethinged up.
Actually, I am going to oil it and gas it up.
Gas it and oil it and whatever, and then they're going to go down and do some pre-clearing of the area where the big machine is going to knock stuff down and flatten it out. We have used dog-proof leg hold, but yes, we shoot it. Too many homesteaders around here to release it. Yes, ma'am. That would be awesome if you could do that, sister. You know me. I am just not very organized, and I forget stuff, and I know you're on top of things. We are going to check those magnets out. I just learned she had an Etsy store. Yeah, it's still on there, and if it says it's out, it's not out. I don't know if Etsy needs to know that I've got more of them, but yeah, that would be great, Susan Bryant. Thank you. Hello, Sister Kate. Looks like exciting things happening. There they are, Miss Cindy. We are having big machinery knocking things down. Moving big logs here with a hand winch. A hand winch would definitely work, but some of the rocks here, you're not getting with a hand winch, right?
Sit on that one.
I will. Well, look, first of all, I'm sitting on one. My seat today is not a chair. It is a couch-sized rock, and then this one right behind me is also, what is that? You know, it's not a VW bug-sized rock, but it's a several hundred possibly 1,000-pound rock, and we've got bigger ones. So to do things on Shofar, some of it's got to be done by seriously heavy equipment. Just under $9. Okay, no problem. Easy peasy. Does Pastor let you use the chainsaw? My hubby won't let me. He probably would show me. I know he's shown me how to start it and stuff. I think he'd be too concerned for my safety because I can be clumsy and not as careful as I should be. And I've done things like cut my knee open when I fell here on the rocks last summer, and sometimes I trip, and so I think he would not trust me, at least with those kind. Now, I did have a lady on here who said, I think Amazon sells an electric one that's smaller and lighter, and that's the one she uses, and I thought, okay, interesting, I may try that. But at least here on Shofar, the chainsaw stuff is normally for the guys. They're cutting down really large trees at times, 70-foot trees, and the way they fall and how much weight it is and everything, it's just not viable for me to run a chainsaw here. So the answer to that question, long answer, is no, I don't. Aw, Farma, that is so sweet. Thank you. I have to get back to work. Glad I got to stop by. Take care. Shalom, William. Shalom, and thank you for stopping by. Tri-4 winch, 1/8-ton, pulls slow, but it works. Okay, cool.
The dozer's coming now.
The dozer is coming now. Okay, so what I'll try to do is, as I hear it get closer, I'll take the camera and stand where you can see it coming. Wayne is worried about chainsaw kickback. I've seen many accidents with chainsaws, and he is right. You've got to be careful. And normally they wear chaps and a helmet and all that. I don't know if I see Pastor wearing them.
I didn't know it was going to be chainsawing.
He said he didn't know he was going to be chainsawing, so he didn't bring it. But normally the guys wear the safety equipment. Whoa, wait a minute. My wife chopped her toe with an axe, so no axes for her. Yeah.
Maybe train her how to use an axe properly.
But you know how us older women are. Even if you train us properly, we can be kind of clumsy. Thanks for sharing this progress with us, Sister Kate. No problem. It was actually Pastor's idea. Good morning, Sister Kate. Stephen and Julia from Middletown, Ohio. Cool. Welcome, Buckeye Bushcrafter. This is an exclusive because I had not really mentioned what was going on, and I hadn't really done a video on what was going on here. But Pastor suggested a live stream, so I said, all right, I will do it. Okay, I can never get my hair to behave. Deborah, hello all. Hello, Miss Wes S. Hey, welcome. Are you in your car, or are you guys like hanging out somewhere or something? It was very nice talking to you yesterday. I would love to get a backhoe here to get the pond dug. Pharma, I showed Jack the back end of Jack. We saved our pennies up and we bought an excavator arm, and so we're going to be able to dig a pond with our excavator arm for our ducks. It won't be huge, and I will probably be the one digging it with Jack, because I like to excavate. I've had practice on a brother's that lent us, and it'll be a real pond though. It won't be the little, trays and kiddie pools and stuff that we've had for them so far. Oh yes, the excitement builds. I can hear the rumbling of this monster on its way. If I can get that. Her name is Pepper Pop, Roger. What? Her name is Pepper. Come on, Peps. Whoa. Yes, here it is. Look at it. Whoa. Here it is. Can you see it back there? Is it going to be able to get past those water containers?
You could let Roger pump his channel.
Oh, yeah. Do you want... Ozark Geek, do you want to say anything? We're live.
Hello, Ma. We're out here taking woods down.
Yes.
And moving ground. Doing things. It's expanding the mountain if you want.
That's right. Oh, wait, I got to get this, Roger. I got to get it. Here it's coming. Can you guys see it? There. Look at the size of that guy. Listen to that noise. Holy schmoly. All right, I'm going to get out of the way now. Is your truck okay, Roger? Is he going to be able to get past it? Holy schmoly. There it is. It's a biggin. All right, and then he's going to head down into the woods there because that's the location of the next pad that they're clearing. So the baby died yesterday? Yes. Unfortunately, but I knew the extent of the injuries. It wasn't going to make it. Is there a property available on Shofar Mt? I'm officially retired now. My wife, we have 13 years of son wanting to move. We're not doing like community that way now. If you're interested in our area, send an email to Pastor Joe at Viking Services at Hotmail, and we will send, well, he's got to vet everyone who wants to come into our area, but for people who show promise, then we recommend property that is for sale in our area. That's how that works. Okay, so bring you back to my childhood. My father's a heavy equipment operator, and he used to get equipment all the time to do yard stuff, and I would sit in the machine with him. And this one, hey, Harriet, Shalom, this one is air conditioned. We're out here sweating, but the operator is telling us that it's the air conditioning is so good, he was almost too cold. Although this one may be different because yesterday's bulldozer was a smaller version. The person who rented them gave us a smaller one first and then, switched it out. So I really haven't heard if this one's air conditioned, but with the cab and clothes like that, it probably is. So now they're discussing how this is going to go. I should be in on that because I know exactly where this stuff should go, but it's hard to do that in live stream too. All right. Can I hand this off to one of you all to talk, and I'm going to go down there with them real quick?
Oh, okay. Shalom. Sister Kate's going off down the mountain, and they're going to look at the spot where some trees are at, what land needs to be cleared out. And once they make that decision, then they're going to go ahead and get started. Quite a few changes going on out here. Don't know if Sister Kate has talked about the work that's been up by the longhouse, but that looks pretty good. A couple of big areas up there. Where the building's going in, they've got a 50 by 30 foot area that is leveled and will be able to be prepped for concrete soon. So, I don't know if you can see them. I'll get down here a little bit. So, they're going off down there. And from where you can probably see if I can get this turned around here where I can see. Anyway, you can barely see Sister Kate back there. They're going about twice the depth that she's at. All right. She's on her way back.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming back. Sorry to put you on the spot, but you're a YouTuber too. Okay. You understand.
All right. Hopefully I didn't bore anybody.
No way. No way. Brother Roger's nothing but sweet. So he's going to go in and back down this way. There's a level, and so he's going to put like a road and then a pad behind it for the cabin, and then there'll be another one farther down that way on that end of the road thing. So we're going to put 2 down in there, and it's really, I mean, I know he's got to clear trees and everything, but it's pretty down in there.
I had gloves and I don't know what I did with them.
You had what?
Gloves.
Oh, I didn't see your gloves. I'm going to stand here next to this thing. Look where the tread is. That's right at my hip bone. This thing's big. And Bear said the air conditioning is really good. So he's nice and cool. And then there's Jack. Jack's smaller, you know. I think he said it's like 36 horsepower or something. But see, there's the excavator arm. It's not very big. It's not a very big bucket, but it can do a whole lot more digging than I can. So I'm super excited about that. It took them a while to come pick it up to get ready for it, but then they took care of all that in about 2 days. So I'm really happy with our dealership. Okay. Jack is way cooler. Jack is bright orange. And here's the puppy. He can't move, and look, he looks like he's been in trouble because he's like, I can't go where I want. You big goober head. So that is the exclusive What Is Your Questions? Because I'm about to have to go do things again. Here we go. Now you don't have to throw up from the motion sickness. I can sit back down and get your equilibrium back in shape. He has a very calm and peaceful voice. Okay. Got to go wash my dogs. All right. Asphalt Cowboy, hello. Dirt is expensive there. Dirt is expensive around us. It sure is. And it shouldn't be. That's the thing that really, the area is growing. I think that's one reason why. I think people interested in our area and people who have moved here have made the locals realize that they have a market, and so the prices have gone up. We have a neighbor from Texas who bought a really large amount of property in the area, and nothing was happening with that property forever. And then people started coming to, try to do community with us on Shofar, and so around us things were getting bought, and she was not dumb, and she jacked the prices up. She more than doubled them. Because she's kind of greedy, and she's also kind of bitter. And so that's a problem. The property around us, if you go over the state line, is way less expensive. And it's still within an hour drive of us. So a lot of people have been buying property a little bit farther away from us. But life is what it is. I mean, you can also form community in your area with believers near you and homesteaders and preppers. Okay. I have to convince the man to dig a pond with his green lady. Yes. And if you have a hose, it's probably not near the problem it is for me, because I don't have any source of water near my ducks in orchard. There could be a plan coming down from the well. There could be piping, but it would take a bit. And so catching it off the duck house, it works fine. Like this spring, if I had a bigger container down there or something, I could have saved more than I did. But for me to do it, it's hard for me to move a bigger container all by myself, and I'm often working on it by myself. So it's scaled to me. But the water is, oh look, these guys are live streaming too. Copycats. Guys, whatever. No, maybe they're doing a briefing. Okay. Yeah, I think they're doing a briefing. I'm too sassy. What was I saying? Yeah, the water situation. So if I had a hose, it would be a lot easier. I would not be as concerned about getting a pond in. But because my ducks really can't float on those little pools, I don't often have them full enough for them to be able to float. It's important for their feet and legs that they be able to be in water, because that's their natural habitat. And so that's why I'm trying to get a pond down there. We're looking at the Jasper area to move next year. Awesome. So exciting. Stay cool out there and thanks for sharing. Wes S. My thoughts, advice on moving select plants from my garden, a few I can't part with for a long-term multi-day drive when I move. Okay, so my daughter moved plants. She had a 9-hour drive and she dug them up. She put them in good soil and made sure they were well watered and moved them. And most of them did okay. If they're going to be in the back of a pickup truck or something, I would cover them with something that would keep the wind from just whipping them around. Wes S. That's right. Secrets. The more communities we have around the world, the better, right? I mean, if you are in an area with other believers, it is worth it for you to get closer just for the fellowship. It's important, and for bartering, and for, just knowing that when you're interacting, you have values the same. Hey, you guys, go ahead and level me out a spot. I can put a tent up. West Home Forge, we've got places to put tents up, brother. You know that. Have to be a little second. Hi, Sister Kate. Hey, Lone Star Living Channel. You will want to go back and watch this video from the beginning to see what's going on. Can you see? You see that? That is live, people, right there. Can you move the ducks closer to water or move the water to the ducks? The ducks get to be closer to a pond in winter, but for them to help the orchard, they kind of need to be there. So I catch rainwater catchment, but that's as much as I can do right now. Be blessed. Gotta go. Love you, sister. Oh, thank you so much, Liz. Bless you. You guys be safe. I'm thinking maybe milk crates that way they can stack and be sturdy. Yes, I think that'll work just fine, Chasing Life. God bless you too, Wes. It was very nice talking to you. Getting the work done. Yeah, and you all help by supporting Bear's channel, Pastor Joe's channel, and my channel. You help this kind of stuff happen. And we thank you for that. We thank you for all the comments, the prayers. If you financially help, we love that too. Just all of it. And what else happens when this happens is now Pastor has a whole new set of resources. He has trees that have had to be pushed over. He can cut them up for firewood later. There's huge rocks and dirt. There's a huge mound on the top part where the new worship place is going up, and with Jack and the scoop and the excavator, he can dig that up and put that places where we need rocks or soil. And with the sawmill, he can cut and saw. I'm having lunch in the nice air conditioning while you're out there slaving in the sun. That is so true. But we do that every day, Westhold. So yeah, I'm sweating, but I'm not overwhelmed by it. And all of us have drinks. All of us have water. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you doing well. Thank you, Angela Nato. Angela, are you the mom with the 6 kids who's homeschooling? Because I mistook you for another regular viewer. And she's like, no, I'm an older lady and my kids are grown. So is it you? I wish we had friends like you guys have knowledge in numbers. And it's never too soon to look around your area. It's never too soon to like put something on Facebook or Craigslist, or look in the local phone book and see if there's a Torah group in your area. Or a prepping group, either one. And if you, I think the Viking stuff is through my husband's Patreon channel. It's only $1 a month. So if you went on there, there are meetings of preppers that happen in different states across the country with the totally for those people to meet with preppers in their area and become mutually beneficial. That is the whole purpose behind that. So if you're interested, become a patron on his Patreon channel and either start something in your area or look for something happening in your area and go and meet people. I support y'all's channels and Patreons, all great information. Thank you so much, Lone Star Living. Or 119 Ministries, right? They have a believer locator map and list and stuff on their channel. I do have 6 awesome children, and most are out of the house now. Yes, I homeschooled mine. Okay, so I think you and Chasing Life were some of the first people on my live streams, I think. And I think about you fondly, both of you. They've got a map and everything as far as meaning tour observant folks, not so much as far as preppers. Yeah, tour observant folks, but the Viking thing is for preppers. Major Ken, hello, Sister Kate, a patron here. Well, thank you for supporting my husband. I don't know, you can't see the bulldozer anymore. It's now down in the woods, but that's something that you all support right there. We homeschool our 5 kiddos. Awesome. I homeschooled my 3 for different amounts of time in different places. And I should have done it all the way through, but when I started it, I hadn't done my research and I had not made a plan. But I think by the time your kids are 16-ish, starting them in community college classes for like the math and English is probably going to work. I know there are curriculums you can get for high school students, but I think having access to a lab and things like that would be beneficial. That's just me. I'm not saying you can't get them all the way through. You absolutely can, and I think it's a great thing. Okay, Sister Kate, if you do a Patreon channel, I would join up. Westhold Forge, you're gonna make me cry. A couple of you guys have suggested it. I talked it over with Pastor. My biggest issue is that I don't know that I can be dedicated enough to be putting up material every day like my husband does, and I don't want to I mean, I could say rip you off, but that's not what I mean. I mean, I want it to be worth your while. But I have a PayPal. I do have a PayPal. It's called Shofar Viking. And it's a capital S, but the V is not capitalized. And if you just want to give because you want to, you can do that at the PayPal thing. But it's not something, I try to keep my channel from being commercialized very much. I'm not trying to sell t-shirts and stuff like that. I'm just not as good at business and things like that. So I've got other kind of deals going on with Sister Melissa. She is editing right now, and I am working on a small pamphlet that's called Homestead Hints. That is some of my hints to homesteaders, and that we will sell. It'll be on Kindle and things like that. And when it's ready, I will advertise that. And I'll probably have Kindle, you'd have to, I don't even know how Kindle works other than it's on your computer. But it'll also be available at my Etsy store in print form. Okay, so yes, ma'am. I was at your first live stream, and I've tried to catch you as many as I can. That's right. I mean, you struck a chord with me, Chasing Life, you and Angela. The first 2, and I was just like, people are actually interested. So it was really, it meant a lot to me. Renee Henricks, hello. I would like to start raising chickens for eggs and meat once we find our land. Do you have any self-learned lessons on how to start? Well, I'm going to have that Homestead Hints book out, and then you'll have all the ones I have. No, yes, I do. It's going to be easier for you as the first-time person to buy live birds, to find on Craigslist or something, somebody selling adult birds. And they should be laying eggs when you buy them. Now, the thing about chickens is their legs indicate their age. So a bird with yellow or, orange, bright color means that bird is younger. If their legs are very pale, like my friend Bear over here, you want to say hello for 1 second?
Oh, I got pale legs.
Yes. Are you even there? Do I have it?
Hi, Internet.
There you go.
I have no experience of talking to people on one of these things.
I know, I put you on the spot. I do apologize. And you are busy. Look, he's getting ready to
Well,
chop trees.
The whole point of this exercise is don't just talk about doing things, go do things.
True. All right, bless you, be safe.
Bless you.
Okay. Yeah. So I would get hens from someone who has hens, but check their legs. If their legs are pale, they're older, which means they're not going to lay for you as well. If you're super excited to, and you are ready to set up a lamp and like a trough or a bin and have the little teeny chicks, it's really exciting for kids, but you're going to have to wait 4 to 6 months before those little chicks are adult birds and can lay eggs for you. So that would be my number one tip for you right now, right now. Not every post every single day on Patreon. I'd love if you had a Patreon. You're kind of so helpful and so broad range of topics. I don't think anybody would feel ripped off by you. All right, well, I'll keep considering it. I'll keep considering it. I mean, I'm hearing what you're telling me. Okay, Storm Chaser, wait a minute. Where is he? You have to get those tornadoes trained to damage as directed. What did he say? Bit of a commitment. It's good you supported her efforts. Mine didn't at first, but saw the importance a bit later. I would support a video a week. Only thing better at tearing up trees than a bear and a bulldozer is an old-fashioned Okie tornado. That's true, and if we could only get it to go where we needed it, I would be okay with that. First thing I want it to get is the chicken houses nearest. My daughter, whoa, hey, my daughter's, whoa, oh, Chasing Life, I erased your comment. Ah! Can you please repost it? Come on now. I hate that. My fingers are so fat and I pushed the wrong button. Okay. Oh, Storm Chaser, good to see you and hear from you, brother. I hope you're doing all right. We all have our little pots in the fire. I'm currently working on a book. It's a romance based on following Torah. You want to read it so I can get feedback? Absolutely. Just email it to me. My Gmail is Yaz Kate. So I think it's Yaz with a dot, Kate at Gmail. Oh, so you were saying you have a junior and you're not sure which direction you want to go in. Lots of things to consider, and she was saying 5G is going to be everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you do have to consider a lot of things. You don't want to stifle her. You want to allow her to pursue her interests. My son's wife's family homeschooled, and they homeschooled all the way through. They were very, very protective of their daughters, which I think is necessary. They never let her go anywhere alone. She always had to have a sister with her. And something that her mother did with her that I really think helped her was she put her in classes like how to sew and how to decorate cakes. And they also did home skills, how to can stuff and so on in their home. But it gave them an outlet. They were also members of a church group, and so they had other than just family to socialize with on a regular basis in a safe way, but was also very productive. So like skiing lessons, or maybe letting her volunteer at a park, because my son did that when he was a teenager. It was a city park nearby, but they had like a little center where they raised animals, and the younger, he was about 13, they could volunteer there for like an hour or two a day and just help with the park, feed the animals or clean the cages or whatever. But it gave him a chance to, socialize with people outside of the family in a safe environment. DMAC Outdoors. I'd pay $1 a month for only one live chat a month from you, Sister Kate. Oh, DMAC, that is so sweet. YasKate@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure, Angela, that's the Gmail one. I have Morgan55 at Hotmail as well. And Morgan is MORRIGAN 55 at Hotmail. But the YasKate is easier, I think. YasKate@gmail. See? Sister Melissa knows that stuff. Lots of incentive for women engineers. My daughter's going to be a junior this coming year, and she wants to go to real school, but I'm concerned. I'd like to keep her with me throughout. I don't know if school will be a thing this coming year. Right. I mean, because We've all been there. Hey, John Ree, or Ray, good to see you. We got the walls of the kitchen up, but we don't have the shelves and stuff. And your towel racks are going to go up in that kitchen when it's finished. We're just almost afraid to dirty the walls right now, but that's not even true. We have the shelving ordered. Yeah, your daughter is at an age where she really wants to interact with people her own age, and she wants to kind of figure out her place in all of that. That's on the worldly level. But as a parent and a believer, like, you don't want her to go out there and be taken advantage of or something like that. And so it's important she get some socialization, but it be in a very controlled way. And a classroom, it's really hard to get attacked or taken advantage of in a classroom. I will say that, as long as there are other people there. So like a community college class, or even if your school system would allow her to do extracurriculars and stuff, that's good. But for her to be alone with any male, especially person, that's very risky. It's really risky. And so I encourage you to be on the safe side, but like you said, you can't stifle her. So, like I said, like volunteering at a park, or whatever she's interested in. Say she wants to be someone who works at a grocery store. Like, you could see if she could go to a grocery store and just help out in some way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at there, chasing life. Back to work for me. Dang it. Have a good day. Good day. Okay. Good to see you too, Westhold. Those are great ideas. Thank you. As you know, we're moving, so that is another big change. Starting at the big public at the same time will be a lot at once. Yes, I'm being ultra mama bear about it. Right? Or if like there's a sports team she can join or something extracurricular, so she gets to I know people call it social skills, but you know what I'm saying. Skills appropriate for people her own age, because eventually it's, according to the Bible, she's going to end up being someone's wife, or she's going to live with you. For Bible believers, sending your daughter out into the world all by yourself, not the way to do it. I will definitely do the Patreon if you choose to. Okay, well, you guys are sending me good feedback there. I'll talk to Pastor about it again. That's really humbling, you guys. Thank you so much. Whew. Okay, any more questions? Otherwise, it's been an hour and I need to get back. I got to make lunch for these guys. They're going to be hungry after doing all this physical labor. Totally agree with all the comments about patrons to count me in. Aw, sheepdog. I give your husband a whole $3 a month. I'm underpaying for what I get. For $3 a month of video, that would be worth it. Aw. So sweet. I still use the hoe you made me too, brother. Okay. All right. Well, if you have no more questions, I'm going to sky out.
I gotta take the four-wheeler. I'll be right back.
Thanks for letting me send it to you. Not many that I know are interested. I'm currently only on chapter 5, so you'll get bits and pieces. And Lamp Keeper, I do have experience editing. I have edited, again, volunteer, but I did do, I won't say like 25 books, but I did like 10 books for a friend of mine. And the only reason I stopped is because I was a homeschooling mom and too busy to keep it up. And he needed it done quick. Okay. I'm going to finish this up soon, too. I'm going to head back down to the house.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So, like, I will have criticisms. I won't just read it and say, oh, yeah, that's fine. I mean, and I've got to do it with my own. I've read my own, the Homestead Hints thing, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm way too abrupt. I'm not phrasing my sentences very well. So, yeah, not a problem. Patreon would be worth it, so I don't have to put up with you two. If you have any combative training for just in case, good question, Mark. Yeah, you don't want to send her without a way to defend herself, and she definitely should have her own phone Whether you limit it or tell her you're going to review that phone every day or whatever, because phones are a very tempting and easy way for them to get in contact with people they ought not to be. But for emergency calls like 911 calls and stuff like that, having a phone is a good thing. The censoring is a real issue on here. Yeah, Angela, I hadn't thought about it like that, but you're right, it is. Yeah, that's a really good point, Angela. My 18-year-old just got his own phone last month. His decision. Right. I mean, I remember when my son asked for a phone, he was like 14 or 15, and he had to beg us. And what convinced me was he was going to get his driver's license and he was soon going to be driving. And of course, he didn't just drive to school and back, but if you were the kind of parent who wants him to drive to school and back, I could not see him doing that without a phone, because what if something happens to the car? What if he gets a flat tire or he has an accident on the way to school or back? Or he's at school and he needs to stay later and he needs to contact us. So that's when we said, okay, you can have a phone. And I did not know at that time he was as extroverted as he is. So he went off the chain with that phone. He really did. And he was pretty off the chain in college. But raise a child in the way he should go, and he will not stray from it when he is older. So he came back to the Lord and lives a very Torah observant life right now. So, I mean, there is a point at which you either stifle them or you allow them to become the person they're going to be. And that's really just a choice you have to make. And we chose to not stifle our children when they became older. Absolutely, they come back. Right. I agree completely with you on Patreon. Shalom. All right, y'all. Helen, you came in right at the end. I am on my way out. Thank you for showing up. I thought the exclusive was pretty good information. I still need to do my 10 tips from the Alone series. I've got that written down on a paper plate, so I am going to do it. I made the mistake of getting my oldest a phone back when you had to set number of minutes. He ran up my bill to a total of $900. Well, that's one of the things my son did too. He ran the bill up. It didn't go quite that high. So I called the company, who at that time was T-Mobile, and I said, look, he's like a 15-year-old kid. He's texting all his friends, and he ran this bill up. But he's not an adult. Like, he doesn't have a job and whatever. And back then, T-Mobile had great customer service, and they cut the bill from like $260 down to $90. And then after that, he started paying attention to his minutes. And, eventually you get to the unlimited minutes, and then you don't have to deal with it. Okay, Luna Jardine, blessings, but I'm getting offline, so I'm sorry. But do watch the video, because there was some big stuff happening. And I thank you guys for coming. Bless you. I got to go make some lunch. Shalom.